Well, hello and welcome to Qlik Spotlight. I have the very great pleasure of having with me Mr. Sean Dolan, SVP, sorry, we got it right on the PowerPoint, SVP of Americas. Welcome, Sean. Thank you for being part of Spotlight. Good way to introduce you to the rest of Qlik and get to know you a bit more. So thanks for getting involved.
Oh, thanks for inviting me. It's a pleasure. My pleasure.
Excellent, excellent. So for those who don't know you, because what, a couple of months now, 2, 3 months
Yeah,
you've
next
been
week
at
will be
Qlik?
3 months. Not that
Three
I'm counting.
months. Yeah, yeah. So those who don't know you, explain a little bit about your background and your career journey up to Qlik.
Career journey up to Qlik. I guess one of the common elements is it's always been technology. I probably
Mm.
work with a little over a dozen, no, half a dozen companies. And all of them have been technology based.
Yeah.
I've taken a couple of different paths where I wanted to move from more sales into consulting. I've taken a path where I wanted to get just, not just sales, but move into more operations.
Mm.
I've also taken a path where I decided to move my family to Asia, and we spent 6 years
Oh,
in Asia.
really?
Yeah.
Whereabouts? Whereabouts?
We were in Beijing, Shanghai, and Hong Kong.
Oh, nice. That's one. China is one of those places I've never been to, and
Yeah.
I'd like to go, I
You know,
think.
when it worked for the family, it was fantastic. If it doesn't
Yeah.
work, then obviously we said we go as a family, we come back as a family. But
Mm.
I've got three daughters, and everyone really enjoyed it, including my wife. And every time the 2 years came up, they gave me another assignment. I said, yeah, we'll stay.
Yeah.
So that was fun. And then we decided we've been in Asia a bit too long, so I took a role in Europe and spent some time in London, about 4 or 5 years in London.
Okay.
So coming back to the States, all my
Yeah.
daughters were in university or working here. My wife said, time to go home. I started looking at a couple of different opportunities, and Qlik came across my radar because CJ and I had worked together in the past.
Oh, okay.
And it was just, for me, it was perfect timing,
Yeah.
something I want to do.
That's a journey, isn't it? And did you
Yeah.
speak Mandarin at all when
A
you were
little,
in
eat the
China?
Indian.
There you
Very,
go. I
very
have no
little.
idea
Yeah,
what you're
yeah.
talking. You could say anything, and
Yeah, I
I would just
probably
say
did.
yeah. Excellent. Yeah, someone can translate that and get back to me.
Yeah.
That'd be good. So, you've answered the next question. What attracted you to your role? But you say you've been in technology, but any kind of BI background at all, or is
No.
it no?
No, I mean, I spent the first half of my career, I would say, in more systems integration,
Mm.
products, software, pretty much everything. I spent 10 years at EDS, which was really broad, and now part of HP,
Oh,
in,
okay.
in large-scale system integration, managed services. Then I went into consulting side, and then I kind of flipped and went on to the networking side.
Mm.
I spent 6 years, 7 years with Alcatel-Lucent, and a lot
Oh,
of that was in Asia. And then I spent probably 5 years in Europe with Juniper. So getting
Juniper
more into the
Networks.
data
Yes, I
center
know them.
networking.
Yeah.
So it was a little bit more IT, a little bit of networking, but for me, I always loved technology. I'll
Mm.
never program. I don't, enjoy it that
No.
much, but I love what technology enables. And when I
Mm.
look at Qlik as an organization, for being on the sales side, I just think it's fantastic
Yeah.
because it's a platform that allows you to really enable companies to be more successful, whether it's in marketing, whether it's in supply chain, manufacturing, finance, et
Mm.
cetera. So it's just truly exciting time to be at Qlik, and I
Yeah.
think the market's red hot.
And I'm the same as you. I love the technology and find it fascinating to look into what we're doing, and especially the route we are now with the artificial intelligence, with CrunchBot and the
Yeah,
technology
yeah, yeah.
behind that, and the Internet of Things. It's amazing. It keeps me going. It certainly is. So yeah, and again, similar to me, you're a techie, but you don't code. So
No,
yeah,
no, no.
yeah.
My
That's
kids always ask me to fix something with technology, and I'm like, you're talking to the wrong person.
yeah, yeah. So a few months now, you've been at
Okay.
Qlik. How's it been so far?
Great.
Mm.
I think as we were talking earlier, just before we started, joining in December, people would think, is that the right time? But it allowed me to just kind of observe how we close the quarter, how we close out the year, get
Mm.
involved a little bit about setting the stage for FY19. So I thought it was a great time, to be
Yeah,
honest with you,
yeah.
to start, and lots of different things going on, lots of moving parts, and we've got a lot of things that we want to try to do this year to be more successful. But it's a
Mm.
great group of people.
Yeah.
It's like I said, I've never been in a company where you walk in and every salesperson uniformly says, we've got the best product in the world.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I just told them, you just took your number one excuse away from losing deals.
Yeah, you got to sell. There is no excuse.
Every company you walk into, people always complain about product. We're missing this feature. We're missing that feature. For us, it's been pretty much universal. People
Mm.
love the product that we have,
And the
which is great.
customers love it as well. And
Absolutely.
that's for me. I mean, I was in pre-sales before I moved over to what I'm doing now, and it made the job so much easier because everyone wanted the product, and it did what it said it was going to do.
Absolutely. And more.
Mm. Yeah.
Eh,
Yeah. So one thing, opportunity.
Yeah.
and the acquisition. And I'm springing this one on you about how much do you know so far about and what that's going to do for Qlik?
Well, no, that's what I said to my wife. I said, obviously, getting into the analytics side, learning about not so much the technology behind it, but the sell in terms of
Mm.
when we walk into a CFO, what are we talking to him or her about her organization and how we can help them, or when you walk into manufacturing. So learning what our platform on the analytics side can do for different functional groups.
Yeah, yeah,
And I think when you get to opportunity, it just brings a whole new realm of
yeah,
space. It
yeah.
just broadens the portfolio. And I think that's probably one of the bigger changes that we have within the sales organization. We talk a lot about, all right, we got to go subscription, we got to go net new, we got to go growth. I think those are table stakes. I think the big transformation is getting our teams up to speed to really be able to talk intelligently
Yeah.
about the technology that we have and what could bring to our customers from a business outcome standpoint.
Yeah.
So I'm going to be working really closely with our education team to do some more sales enablement from the technology side. But I mean, that's just keep giving more candy to the kids.
Yeah, yeah,
It's good.
absolutely. And one of the things saying about what fascinates me about this technology and where we are now and where Qlik is that whole data thing. Everything, the world is data, isn't it?
Yeah.
So this gives us now another sort of segment within what we're selling to give offer the world to our customers, basically.
Yeah, it's funny. I was away with some friends this past weekend, and Nicky's not a technologist, and he says, "So what's this new company with?" And I was saying, "Well, it's all about big data." He goes, "Okay, say no more."
Yeah,
He goes, "It's a great space.
yeah.
Good. I hope you guys do well."
Yeah, big data. It's quite funny because when the whole big data thing, I was working at a conference, and someone came up to me and said, "Can Qlik do big data?" Now we're going back now 4 or 5 years.
Yeah, yeah.
When people didn't really understand what big data was and what made data big, and we're now in a stage where actually people do understand now, and it's not just big data; it's everything, isn't it? I mean, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think a big push was actually trying to lower the cost associated with managing and storing and computing big data, obviously getting into the data lakes itself. But I think we're on the more exciting part, and it's not necessarily as commoditized as where I think, some of the things with data lakes have gone. I think it's getting into the analytics and really using
Yeah,
that data to transform the company.
absolutely. You
And
can store
that's
it.
fun.
Yeah, yeah. So what do you say, Sean? What do you bring to the role then? If it's quite putting you on the spot here, I
That's all
apologise,
right.
but what do you bring to the role? What makes Sean someone who's really going to make the role a success?
Absolutely nothing.
Absolutely.
I don't know. I'd like to think that my passion and energy and excitement for working inside organizations to help them with transformation is a big part. When I was with Alcatel-Lucent, I was there where I was merging companies, and that was a big change management. We're bringing two companies together across
Yeah,
26 countries. The same thing at Juniper, going through a transformation, going into more the enterprise and not just with service providers. So I think I've been involved for, I don't know, 10, 15 years of change management. And I think that will help a little bit. But first and foremost, I think it's going to be my energy and my knowledge around building sales organizations
Yeah.
that work as a solid team. And so when I say sales organizations, I'm not just talking about the salespeople. I mean, working with the pre-sales team and the SA
Yeah,
organization,
absolutely.
working
Yes.
with the channel organization, but also extending that even further into are we coordinated with our service team? Are we coordinated with the industry specialists in terms
Yeah.
of Bolton's organization? So, everyone says selling is a team sport. It is.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
And the best salespeople leverage every facet of an organization. So I think, with my background, my experience, I think people will see me as a general manager looking to kind of bring the pieces together
Yeah.
so that we have a strong sales organization that's working as one team.
Yeah, and that you hit the nail on the head there. I think that the team is not just salespeople. There is
Absolutely
so much more behind that, and if you're not communicating or not getting involved with those people, then you're losing a whole chunk of the puzzle. Yeah.
And not only is the supporting team make sales better, if sales isn't coordinated with them, it makes the other team sub-optimized also.
Yeah.
Because we're on the front end of it. So if we're screwing things up on the front end, it gets even worse on the back end.
Of course it does. Yeah.
So it's kind of a win-win when the teams start to work together.
So we're going down a journey now at Qlik with the
Yep.
subscription sales side of things. What challenges does that bring to you and your team? If you're doing a to-do list of things that you have to get right, and we've got to get
Yep.
this right. It's
Yep.
not like we've got a choice. What do you need to do that?
Yeah, I absolutely agree that we have to get it right as a company. There's obviously we've articulated, and Mike has done an excellent job just kind of talking about why we need to move in
Yeah,
this direction. It shouldn't be that hard because the industry is going there. So it's not like we're swimming upstream.
No, no.
I'm going to be a little bit of a contrarian. I don't think that's a hard change in terms of trying to get towards subscription. I think it's an important one. It's one we're going to stay focused on. But I think if you're a sales rep, you don't sell subscription. You sell a value
Yeah,
and a
yeah.
business outcome to the customer. The subscription is just more the financial end.
Mm.
By the way, we're not selling it as a perpetual one-time sale. We're selling this as a subscription, and here's all the value associated
Yeah.
with that. So I don't know. I'm personally, I don't see that as a major change. Obviously, culturally, we got to get people
Yep.
behind it, and I think we're doing a good job. But I think really, getting the sales teams to focus on the value that we bring to our customers, and then talking to them is, hey, and we build that. The back end of it is more through a subscription model,
Yeah.
and here's the value associated with that.
Mm. Yeah, yeah. No, you're right. You're right. So going forward now, what's if I was to look at your to-do list in whatever form that is,
Oof,
paper, whatever,
it's everything.
what's the top three? What's the top three on there? What's your priority?
I mean, obviously, you stick with the top of the waves. You turn around saying, okay, listen, we need growth.
Mm.
Obviously, subscriptions going in there. But I don't think I could actually boil it down to three.
No.
I guess if I had to, we've touched on it. Getting the organizational alignment to me is really
Yeah, yeah.
critical. I don't think you can have a good organization unless you've got the right people in the right place, doing the right
Mm.
things. And that extends beyond the sales organization to making sure our sales organization works really closely with the pre-sales, working really closely with
Yeah.
the channel. Right, those are the three key components. But I also need them making sure that they work closely with our service organization and taking advantage of the other supporting teams that are
Yeah.
around there. So getting the organizational alignment to me, I think, is critical.
That's
Put,
top of your list then. That's right on
I
the
would
top.
say that,
Yeah,
yeah. And
yeah.
that includes people, making sure we've got the right
Mm.
people doing the right things. Secondly, I want to make sure that we're building it on a solid foundation. So you have to put some process and structure and discipline so that when you walk away, people know exactly what's expected of them.
Yeah.
And it also allows you to give them empowerment. Like, this is what I want you to do. I'm not going to tell you how to do it, but this is what we need to do, these 5 things. So putting
Mm.
some process, structure, and discipline behind the sales teams. We talk about territory management. We
Yep.
talk about net new customers. We talk about deal qualification, opportunity qualification. Like having those elements in place such that we can start to scale the team.
Yeah.
People are working as an organization, but independently knowing exactly what they need to try to do. So that process structure, I think, needs to be put in place. I would say that's probably number 2 for me.
Okay. Oh, okay. Third one then I'll give you as a personal. What have you got to do? What have you got to learn to make you better at what you're doing?
Phew, that's a long list too.
Yeah, yeah. You've only got one, just one.
I guess I would say, and I use this word because I picked it up when I was at Juniper, is kind of merging with traffic.
Mm.
I have a type A personality. I want to get things done yesterday, and not everyone else might have that same aspiration.
Yes.
I don't want to knock people over when I'm going through to push some of the agenda. I get really excited about the potential that's out there, and so I want it yesterday.
Yeah.
And so I've gotten better at this as I've matured a little bit, is just letting people do it at their own pace, but setting some boundaries
Yeah,
and
of course.
guidelines.
Yeah.
I would say that's my biggest one.
And that's the
Kind of,
balance, isn't it? Between, because you do have to impose yourself. Let's not get that wrong. You've
yeah.
got to, as a person who is running an organisation, people need to know that you're there and what your agenda is. But like you say, when you're merging with that traffic, you don't want to hit too many cars
No.
as you go in. There's a fine balance
Pick
there.
your battles.
Yeah,
Pick your
absolutely.
battles, right? So
Okay, so we're going to move on now to the personal side, Sean, and
Okay.
a few
Cut.
questions. No, it's all on there. It's all in there. The camera never lies. So, how do you relax then? So obviously you're very busy at the moment. I mean, you know what it's like when you're joining a new company. Then you're very busy, but you do have to have some downtime.
yeah, I mean, spending my time, I guess a lot of people would say this, but my wife and family, that's really critical for me. I've got 2 daughters in New York and 1 in Boston. And my wife and I recently moved into downtown Boston, and just being able to spend time with my girls, my wife and my extended family, that's the easy one, and I really enjoy that. Outside of that, probably I run a little bit,
Okay.
golf,
Yeah.
so I'd say a little bit of physical activity isn't a bad thing.
No.
Probably need to do a little bit more of that. And then I should say something like reading a book, but I'm too ADD. I mean, I don't have the attention span to,
Yeah.
For me, a book is, a good edition of The Economist.
Excellent. So, can you cook? That's something. Do you relax by cooking? Does your
I
family enjoy your culinary delights?
No,
No.
definitely. I mean, I'm pretty good around the grill, and I think the only thing my wife and kids will let me do, actually appreciate when I do it, is I'm the breakfast specialist.
Ah.
So that's the only thing I can really kind of cook up.
So what's the breakfast that consist of for you
Well,
then?
it could be a lot of different things, but my specialty is a bacon, egg, and cheese on a lightly toasted everything bagel.
Nice.
Yeah, yeah, and a little bit of cut up fruit on the side.
I'm liking
Yeah.
that. The whole grill thing, I think men I'm not being sexist here. Men have to be good on the grill,
Yeah,
don't they?
stay away from us on a grill. Right?
Yeah.
That's actually relaxing, to be honest with you. Sit
Yeah,
out there on
I
the grill.
love that.
Yeah,
I
me too.
love it.
Yeah,
But the
yeah.
weather's nice, not at the moment. So.
Me too.
Okay, so if you could spend 10 minutes with someone famous, dead or alive, who would that be?
My wife. Is
Your
that a
wife.
good answer?
She's famous. Yes, I'll
Yeah,
give you that. I'll
there you go.
give you that one. Okay.
No, I guess, like I never really been, I love sports and all sports, but I've never been the person to run up and ask for an autograph. It doesn't
No.
mean a lot to me. I'm a little bit more, as I get a little bit older, a historian. I really appreciate history. I think I'd love to sit in on one of those presidential meetings where there's some inside scoop with, the CIA or something going on where they're just talking about world events and how everything's kind of connected. If they would give me the insight, I'd sit down with any president that we've had in the United States, and I just want to know the dirt.
Yeah, that would be interesting.
That would be fun.
Yeah, I'd like that as well. I'll sit in with you on that.
All right, done.
So 2019, we're now end of February nearly. It's
Yeah.
shooting past. So what plans do you have for this year, both Qlik and personal?
The personal is going to take a backstage. To be honest with you, I think I really want to jumpstart my my focus on Qlik. First and foremost, we got to hit our numbers. And, as this head of sales, I'm telling people there's no excuse not to. I think the market's there, the product's there. We've got some really talented people inside the organization helping the sales team. So not only hit our numbers, exceed our numbers. And I know it's not just the numbers itself, but I really want to make sure people are committed to talking about how we can do that with subscription pricing.
Yeah.
And so those things are table stakes. The other one I want to try to do is get into some net new logos. I feel like that we have that muscle, but maybe we need to exercise it a little bit more. There's so much white space in terms of accounts that we haven't talked to in a long time, or we've never talked to, and candidly, nor have our competitors.
Yeah.
Or they might have, but they're in one division. It's a small install base. So I really want to get our people being more customer focused, market focused, get out there and just see what the opportunities are. Because I think we can actually take advantage of that.
And I'll pick up a point you said there, because subscription can almost be a distraction, can't it? Because you were saying about the fact that you need to sell the value and sell the product.
Right.
So by thinking it's a whole new, different way of working, you're still selling a product and a value with a product.
90% of it's the same.
Yeah.
But I mean, obviously, we've trained some of our customers, and we have to kind of unwind that a little bit.
True. That's true.
But to be honest with you, when we walk out of that office, whether it's with the IT team or with the procurement team or one of the business units, and another software company comes in there, not even our competitors, they're saying the same things.
Yeah.
I mean, this is the way in which we're going to deliver our solution, our value.
Excellent. Well, Sean, it's been an absolute pleasure.
My pleasure.
Thank
Appreciate
you so
it.
much for getting involved, and good luck.
Thank you.
I do truly have a good feeling this year is going to be an excellent year for Qlik.
Absolutely. I think the timing is outstanding.
Yeah, brilliant. Thank you very much.
Thank you.